Hello everyone, our topic is adolescent transition care on substance abuse. Substance abuse refers to harmful use of psychoactive substances, including alcohol and illicit drugs, it leads to dependence syndrome. Here are the statistic data of the number of drug abusers, and the blue color indicates the adolescents who are under 21 years old. Although the total number of drug abusers indeed is decreased, unfortunately, there are some unreported cases that we concern who are under 21 years old, so we choose this topic. Transition care is a planned movement of adolescents with chronic physical and medical conditions, from child-centered to adult-oriented healthcare systems, and which is guided, educational, and therapeutic, not only an administrative event. The parties involve adolescents, parents, and professionals. Moreover, the transition process contains three parts. The early stage, which is passive, clients need to gain some information and education from the healthcare workers. And the middle stage, which is active, clients need to read demonstration and give some response on the education. And the late stage, which is independence, the clients should well learn all the information and practices, and they can do it by themselves. And now we are going to talk about the transition care on these 6 aspects. The first one is self-efficacy, sexual health, educational and vocational planning, independent healthcare behavior, psychosocial support, and also health and lifestyle. Now, we decided a health education package for those teenagers who are the drug abuser. Let's start from the first area, self-efficacy. The nurse should help the adolescent to develop a concept of making decisions and express their needs or feelings in the early stage. The goal is to increase the adolescent awareness on the impact of drug abuse and understand the information of health service. First of all, the nurse should provide the information about drug abuse, such as side effects and complications, and etc. Second, the nurse should provide the information of health service to the clients, for example, departments of health methodologies, clinics, and etc. Third, the nurse should provide information of illegal drugs using and consequence, for example, the dangerous drugs ordinance. And the evidence are as follows. The nurse should evaluate the adolescent understanding of drug abuse. The nurse can use the questionnaire to make sure that the adolescent understands what is drug abuse, and check him or her can say the signs and symptoms and the impact of drug abuse that may affect their daily life. For example, question set 2 is about the knowledge about the harms of drug abuse, and etc. Moreover, the nurse needs to know that the clients can say where they can get their health service of drug abuse and how the service could help them. Also, the second goal of this stage is to encourage the involvement of parents or family members. That is because adolescents in drug abuse need support from family members. So, the nurse is to explain the adolescent needs at this stage to parents. The nurse needs to provide knowledge for parents how to monitor their children's behavior changes in drug abuse. And the nurse needs to provide information of health service to parents where they can seek help. For example, Hong Kong Lutheran Social Service Cheer Lutheran Center, and etc. After providing all of the information and the evidence are as follows. The nurse should use the questionnaire to make sure that the parents can identify the signs and symptoms of drug abuse, monitor their children's drug abuse behavior closely, and give support to their child. For example, question set 19 is about the ability to identify drug abuse at the early stage, and etc. and the parents can say that where they can get health services for their child. Move to the middle stage. The nurse should help adolescents to develop wise personal choices of health services and express the feelings or needs when receiving health services. The nurse needs to assist the clients to choose the suitable health services and discuss the advantages and disadvantages. I need to encourage the client to join some community services to increase the knowledge of drug addiction. For example, anti-drug volunteer group of nicotine divisions, and etc. And assist the client to set goals and make record when receiving health services. And encourage them to express the feelings and needs. And the evidence are as follows. The nurse needs to make sure that the adolescent starts to get the health services and while know which health service is suitable for themselves. Also, the adolescents start to express their feelings and needs when receiving health services and get the support from health services. In the late stage, the goal is to increase adolescent performance of making choice and encourage self-management. And the nurse needs to discuss the changes after receiving health services and invites the client to share their experience of quitting drug abuse to others, and also evaluate clients' goals after receiving health services. And finally, discuss the future and set a goal for the future life. And the evidence are as follows. The nurse needs to know the clients can share their changes after receiving health services and why those are important to them in the daily life. Besides, the nurse should use the questionnaire to make sure that the client is built up a positive attitude of drug abuse. For example, question set 1. It is about the client's attitude towards drug abuse, and etc. Let's go to the second area, independent healthcare behavior. The nurse should help the adolescent to build up an independent healthcare behavior. In the early stage, the goal is to increase the adolescent understanding of the drug abuse severity measurement. First of all, the nurse should instruct the client to complete the assessment form, analysis, and record the results. For example, NIDA modified assessment. And the evidence are as follows. The clients can follow the assessment, understand the aims of the measurement, and the adolescent can compare the results with former one and understand whether any improvement. For the middle stage, the goal is to encourage adolescent the environment to deal with withdrawal syndrome. First of all, the nurse should educate the client about the signs and symptoms of withdrawal syndrome and suggest useful activities to distract clients south from the drug and withdrawal syndromes. There are some evidence. The client should understand what is withdrawal syndrome and show confidence to deal with the withdrawal syndrome and away from drug abuse. For the late stage, the goal is to maintain adolescent independence, self-care, and keep track on the appointments. First of all, the nurse should educate the clients to evaluate the results from the appointment. Educate the adolescent to have an independent thinking when choosing the healthcare action. And the evidence are as follows. The client is able to design and evaluate the healthcare action independently. Let's move on to the third area, sexual health. The nurse should help adolescents to have better attitude on sexual issues because some issues raised out are concerned that adolescents have a high risk in unsafe sex engagement because taking drugs. Those in the early stage. The goal is to increase the adolescent understanding and awareness on sexual health. First of all, the nurse should use the guiding question to assess the understanding of sexual activities and facility related to drug abuse. For example, do you think using condoms regularly is harder? To assess their attitude toward contraception. And also, we will use the catalogs, leaflets, or online resources to deliver the wide message about relationship between drugs and sexual activities, incur higher risk in unsafe sex engagement, and its consequences about unsafe sex. Moreover, the nurse will discuss different kinds of contraceptive methods of general information, usage, effectiveness, action, and side effects. Also, the supportive services of sexual health will be suggested, for example, student health service. And the evidence are as follows. The clients can receive the information from catalogs, leaflets, and online resources. And the second goal of early stage is to encourage parents to educate the issue about sexual health. First of all, the nurse should encourage parents to involve in education about safe sex and use the catalog, leaflets, or online resources to deliver the wise message about tips for parents to communicate with their children and some supportive services of sexual health. And the evidence are as follows. The parents can assist their child to understand more about sexual health during the early stage. Let's move on to the middle stage. The goal is to encourage adolescents to participate in sexual health care actively. First of all, the nurse needs to help the young adult to identify and participate in their role by using some leading questions to assess the adolescent is sexually active or not, and their attitude toward contraception and safe sex. And the nurse will demonstrate the proper use of contraceptive methods by playing video and discuss different ways to get contraceptive resources. Furthermore, the nurse will discuss the impact of drug effects on sexual activities, including higher risk in unsafe sex engagement, effects of drugs exposure during pregnancy, and effects on baby development. And the evidence are as follows. The client is able to ask questions about the drug abuse effects on sexual activities actively. And the client is able to set goals in participate safe sex. For the late stage, the goal is to let the adolescent have a well preparation for the adult sexual health care independently. First of all, the nurse needs to use the questionnaire to know their sexual conduct, such as number and the types of sexual partner, details of sexual partnership. Also, the nurse would like to discuss why the adolescent can make the correct decision in preparing and taking contraceptive methods and organize and keep track of their health information. And also, HPV vaccination is highly encouraged to prevent sexually transmitted disease. And the evidence are as follows. The adolescent should respond to safe sex behavior questionnaire by indicating the degree of use of sexual practice. For the aspect of psychosocial support, the nurse should help the adolescent to maintain a healthy psychosocial development. In the early stage, the goal is to increase the adolescent understanding of the positive coping strategy towards stress and join more social activities. First of all, the nurse should meet the clients and let he or she to express their feelings, enhance self-engagement, and understand their previous social life. Second, the nurse should introduce more social life to their clients, for example, volunteer work and interest courses. Also, the nurse should teach the adolescent to say no to drug and introduce some relaxation methods to the clients, for example, deep breathing, and etc. And the evidence are as follows. The client is able to use some coping strategy to relieve stress and understand more advantages to join social activities. In the middle stage, the goal is to enhance adolescent self-identity and well-establishment of social life. First of all, the nurse is to encourage the client to join interest group and peer sharing group actively and help the clients to build up social skills, for example, problem-solving skill and effective communication. And the evidence are as follows. The clients build up a positive self-value and confidence with significant improvement. And the clients can show widened hobbies and interests. At the late stage, the goal is to let the adolescent have a well understanding and demonstrate the significance of the social world. First of all, the nurse needs to encourage the client to have an independent thinking. Also, the nurse needs to encourage the client to maintain a skills of refusal of drug abuse. And the evidence are as follows. The client is able to establish a healthy relationship with friends, establish a self-identity, and the client is able to have a critical thinking and well cope with stress. Move on to the educational and vocational planning. The nurse should help the adolescent to build up a future plan or study or career. In the early stage, the goal is to increase the adolescent awareness about how drug abuse impairs skill performance. First of all, the nurse should talk to clients about the responsibility at school and provide information of restriction that drug abuse affects the academic performance. Then, the evidence are as follows. The young adults can verbalize the impact of drug abuse that may affect their academic performance. In the middle stage, the goal is to aware drug abuse will interfere future career or study and assist the adolescent to make a decision. First of all, the nurse should explain that drug abuse is a criminal behavior which interfere future career or study. Second, need to assess the client's willingness in career or study and refer to social worker. Third, the nurse should discuss what kind of drug should appropriate for persisting drug abuse and refer to social worker for getting more drug information. Lastly, the nurse needs to discuss how to continue study if the client has already dropped out from school, refer them to social worker to gain admission. And the evidence are as follows. The clients can understand that drug abuse is illegal and explain the impact of future plan. And the clients understand each decision in choosing a suitable job or study for his or her condition. At the late stage, the goal is to make sure adolescent independently plan his or her educational or vocational future and pick up social responsibility. First of all, the nurse needs to instruct the clients verbalize all difficulties in work or study and encourage successfully critical clients to share their experience to other teenagers. The evidence are as follows. The clients can express his or her feelings or difficulties after work or with study and solve the problem. And the clients can show the positive attitude through sharing experience. For health and lifestyle, the nurse should help the adolescent to build up a healthy lifestyle. In the early stage, the goal is to increase the adolescent understanding of impacts of drugs abuse on lifestyle and improve their awareness of healthy lifestyle. First, nurse can assess the interests and hobbies of young adults to analysis which may help to develop healthy lifestyle, such as clients like to join the light party with drug friends every day. That will increase the chance of taking drugs. It can help to design an individual activity schedule for clients to prevent taking drugs. Second, the nurse can discuss with clients that any lifestyle may be affected by drug abuse. For example, decreasing performance in school and giving up hobbies. It can help clients to know the impact of drugs abuse on lifestyle and what situation is facing now. Third, to provide information about healthy lifestyle and discuss which lifestyle should be pursued can help clients to clarify and determine the target for lifestyle. To evaluate, the client is able to split out impacts of drugs abuse on lifestyle and express what healthy lifestyle is desired. In the middle stage, the goal is to assess the adolescent to build up a healthy lifestyle and monitor the progress. First, the nurse should encourage the client to develop a drug-free lifestyle. Nurse should give an advice that avoid contact drug-using friends. For example, when the drug-using friends lure them, they should say no directly or I'm busy. Second, the nurse needs to teach the clients to develop a structured daily schedule to regain overall health and a balanced lifestyle. For example, encourage the client to exercise regularly, get enough sleep, etc. Third, the nurse should reinforce their adolescent motivation to abstain from the drug-taking habits. To evaluate, the clients should participate in planning their daily schedule and implement it actively. And the clients regain a healthy lifestyle and abstain from the drug-taking habits. For the late stage, the goal is to let the adolescent develop a healthy lifestyle, manage the lifestyle independently. First, the nurse needs to encourage the client's return demonstration of the new practices which are mentioned at middle stage. And the nurse needs to refer to the social worker for the lifestyle future plan to include more healthy habits. Also, the nurse needs to create a family support group or a support group to discuss about the healthy lifestyle. To evaluate, the client can participate in community activities and maintain a healthy lifestyle in the future. Thanks for watching the video. For the reference list and details of our materials, please refer to the attachment. Thank you.